Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a video covering the brand new premium contract for the Western Alliance Era 2 premium medium tank, the Vickers MBT Mk3. Now if you do like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the Vickers MBT Mk3, it is the newest premium contract, so you can go out there, earn yourself a premium tank for free just by completing the contract. What's it like as a tank? Well, it's absolutely dreadful. It's an awful, awful tank. And yeah, it's just a waste of space in Era 2, really. It just gets Armour all the time. Its gun's nice, its DPM's okay, but its mobility's a bit lackluster. It's got absolutely no armour. ATGMs, like I say, love to Armour it. It loves getting set on fire. It's generally not a very good vehicle, which, yeah, problems. But you can earn it for free. So, the Vickers Mk3 MBT, as you can see, the contract is going on from the 26th of August, which was last Tuesday, to the 4th of November. So you've got a good long while to be able to complete this contract to get this free premium tank, which will make you good silver. It's just, yeah, it's not that great. It's got high DPM and a fast reload. Well, it does have that. Top-notch gun handling, it does have that. Not really. No. Outstanding speed and mobility, nope, it doesn't have that. It goes at 60 kph, but yeah, what doesn't really do that in Era 2, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, it's not the greatest tank in the universe, but there we go. So what we're going to do is go through the stages, what you have to do to be able to get this vehicle, and then we'll go into the garage where we'll show the crew skills that I run for the vehicle, as well as what the tank has in terms of its statistics, and then we'll show some gameplay for the vehicle as well. So upon completing the contract, if you already own the Vickers MBT Mk3, you'll receive 4.4 million silver. So if you do already own this vehicle and you were unfortunate enough to have bought this thing, you will get 4.4 million silver for completing this contract. So the stage 1 is earn 2,400 or more XP in any number of battles. You'll get yourself a med kit, repair kit, fire extinguisher, and you have to complete it by using tier 9 and 10 or all eras in Cold War. At stage 2, it's win 2 battles, placing the top 5 XP earners on your team in a battle, and earn 4,800 or more XP in any number of battles. You'll get yourself a med kit, repair kit, fire extinguisher, and with that, you can again do it tier 9 and 10, all eras in Cold War. At stage 3, you'll get to destroy 2 or more vehicles while enemy is farther than 250 meters in any number of battles, and then destroy 5 or more vehicles in any number of battles and earn 8,400 or more XP in any number of battles, and you'll get yourself a med kit, repair kit, the silver booster, and 1,200 silver as well. And you can do that in light tanks and medium tanks at tier 9 or in all eras of Cold War, which you're probably best to go take out a light tank with ATGMs, sit quite far back, and then launch the ATGMs. That way you'll get your kills from 250 meters away or further. It's a little bit easier in Cold War as well, because the distances you can have sometimes to be able to get those sorts of kills is a lot further. So at stage 4, you can destroy 4 or more tank destroys or artillery in any number of battles, deal 17,000 or more damage in any number of battles, and earn 19,200 or more XP in any number of battles. You'll get medkit, repair kits, a silver booster, another silver booster, so the alright silver booster and the not that great a silver booster, 4,000 silver, and again, you've got to play lights and mediums, available for tier 9 and 10 and all Cold War eras. At stage 5, it's destroy 25 or more vehicles in any number of battles, deal damage equivalent to 1.5 times your maximum health or more in 5 battles, and earn 39,600 or more XP in any number of battles. You get yourself the med kit, the repair kit, the silver boosters, the 2 times vehicle XP boosters, and 27,600 silver. You must play light tanks or medium tanks, and now you can't do it in World War II whatsoever. You have to play Cold War, but it's only available to the middle tier in post-war era 1 and above. So if you're trying to do this in, say, a SHAR 25T, you can't. It's something that it doesn't list in-game, which is a bit rubbish, and they really need to update the UI to be able to include this. But yeah, you have to be available to the middle era, or the middle tier in post-war era 1, and then above, and that way you'll be able to do this stage. So something like the M47 pattern, for example, just picking a tank out of the air. So at stage 6, land 250 penetrating hits in any number of battles, earn 86,400 or more XP in any number of battles. You'll get yourself 3 days of premium, which is nice to get, enhanced med kits, enhanced repair kits, the fire extinguishers, and 574,000 silver. always quite nice to get. You've got to play light tanks or medium tanks, not available to World War II, and it's available to the middle tier in post-war era 1 and above. Again, you've got to play that middle era tank to be able to, or above, so middle era or top era for the eras to be able to get the stage completed. At stage 7, destroy 125 or more vehicles in any number of battles, deal 167,000 or more damage in any number of battles, and earn 187,200 or more XP in any number of battles, and get yourself 2 million silver, which again, nice stipend of silver, we'll take it. Can't do that in World War II. You've got to play in light tanks or medium tanks, just like the rest of the contract. And this time, it's available to middle tier in Escalation Era 2 and above. So once again, you have to play the middle era, or the middle tier of Escalation Era, which is Era 2. So something like the 4AD, or the MX-30B2, for example, or maybe the M60A1 or above, etc, etc, etc. Conqueror, Chieftain Mark 5, you get my point. Middle era tanks or above to be able to complete this stage of the contract for the Vickers MBT. And at stage 8, you have to earn 405,000 XP in any number of battles to get yourself the Vickers MBT Mk3 for free, which is always nice to be able to earn a free premium tank. You got a long time to be able to do it as well, which means you can just sort of grind along, and as long as you're playing what it wants you to be able to play to be able to complete the stages, you'll be able to get this done. And once again, it's play light tanks or medium tanks, not available to World War II, and available to the middle tier in Escalation Era 2 and above. So again, middle era tanks, and it's something that it does not state in game, so you have to read it on the website for some reason. I think it's just because the UI has no way of reflecting that. It's not been built in. So yeah, hopefully they'll get that sorted at some point in the future. And then it'll tell you that, yeah, because I've seen a lot of frustration when trying to grind the Vickers MBT Mk3 from quite a few people going, it's not counting my games, and it's because you have to be that middle tier in the era or above. And if you're thinking tiers, Cold War doesn't have tiers. It does. Era 1, Era 2, and Era 3 have tiers within the era. So there's the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Tier 1 is the entry era vehicle, Tier 2 is the mid-era, and Tier 3 is the top of the era. So the MX-30B66 would be bottom era, the Tier 2 would be the MX-30B2, and then the top era would be the MX-30B2 Brennus, for example. And then you've got the buyouts, but I would never, ever, ever recommend doing buyouts for a contract. You may as well just keep grinding and see if you can get it for free. So here we are with the Vickers MBT Mk3 in the garage, and like I say, this vehicle is genuinely just not very good whatsoever. I think I slated it when I reviewed it because it was not very good. My general experience when I reviewed it was, if an Amarak was going to happen, it was going to be this tank, and if an ATGM was going to enter this vehicle, that would be the thing to do it. And it's, again, trying to play this vehicle to get replays for this video, absolutely happened every single time. As soon as an ATGM hit me, went boop, head blew off straight away. ATGM hit me here, boop, head blew off straight away. ATGM hits me here, engine broken and set on fire. ATGM hits me here, Amarak blows. Honestly, this tank is so Amarak prone, it's awful. It's just like the Centurion 9 at the entry era of the tech tree for the British tanks, and it's just not very fun to play whatsoever. It gets outclassed by everything. All the autocannons pen it really easily. ATGMs absolutely trash it. You've got pretty good... you've got a fantastic gun with pretty good DPM, but that's all you have. So if you play it as a support tank where you're trying not to take hits, it's going to go well, but the amount of people that will just full send you is a lot, and they will absolutely trash your vehicle. But there we go. So, with the Vickers MBT Mk3, what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment? Well, I run a fairly standard MBT crew for this vehicle, and that is a run-born leader, rapid reload, 6th sense, steady aim, snapshot, run and gun, rapid aim, track mechanic, and deadeye. Deadeye to be able to get the 6% increased chance of doing module damage for the memes, so that I can set people on fire more often, maybe damage the Amarak, that sort of thing. It's a meme perk. You really don't have to take it. You really probably shouldn't take it. You're probably better taking something like clutch braking to increase the vehicle hull speed, the hull traverse, basically the track traverse. You could run situational awareness to be able to increase your view range, so you're spotting things at further distances, so you're actually getting better assistance damage. You could run armor angling to reduce the amount of damage coming into the tank by 5%, which could also be fairly handy because any shot that hits you is going to pen you. Or supply conservation to get your food back faster so that you can have that fantastic DPM even quicker. Rapid aim to make the turret traverse better so I can get these guns snapped in on target that little bit faster. Again, get the gun in action, get shooting. And then all 3 gun perks because, yeah, I'm not running a gun stabilizer, so I'll make sure that this gun is as good as it humanly can do, as generally that is all that this tank has. So I want to make sure that the gun is as good as possible. So, in terms of the equipment for this vehicle, I do run the advanced loader, vents, and the ammo swapper. Ammo swapper so that I can switch between the 3 different rounds, because you do have the 3 different rounds, which is APFSDS, Premium APFSDS, and HESH. And the HESH is very, very nice to use. It's a great asset for the vehicle, as it makes your DPM absolutely incredible. You go from 210 pen, which can go through most of the lightly armoured vehicles very, very easily, the Forads, the Leopards, etc., etc., and then you do 570 damage, increased module damage as well with HE, that sort of thing. It's lovely to have, and it's a nice asset for the tank, so I like to have the ammo swapper to be able to use that HESH, and then switch to the premium rounds if I need it for, say, a FV4211. Vents to make everything about this tank as good as possible, and especially the DPM, since that is one of the key things for the tank, as well as making the gun generally that little bit better without running the gun stabilizer. And the advanced loader to get the best out of the reload on this tank, so that, again, I'm getting the best DPM I can possibly get on this vehicle. Plenty of ways to kit out the vehicle, though. Like I say, if you want to keep the aim circle that little bit smaller, you could run the gun stabilizer, and that way it'll be always aimed in, and you can just RBRT to your heart's content, and you'll hit every shot you ever want to hit with the Vickers MBT Mk3. You could run the traction system to go faster at 67 kilometers an hour, which you'd probably hit just about. You could run advanced armor in conjunction with armor angling to reduce the amount of damage coming to your tank by 10%. It's really down to you and how you want to kit out this vehicle. I just try to maximize the strength, as it only really has 1 strength, and it's nice to be able to make that as good as humanly possible. In terms of the modules, that's where the engine bay is, and like I say, if any ATGM or autocannons hit this back section, they're likely to knock your engine out every time, which is a pain. The ammo racks are here, which is, like I say, if an ATGM hits you here, it's going to blow your ammo rack. ATGM hits you here, it's going to blow your ammo rack. ATGM hits you here, it's going to blow your ammo rack. Honestly, the ammo rack on this thing blows every single time an ATGM hits it, and it's super duper frustrating. And if you know Era 2, there's a lot of ATGMs flying about, which means this thing is just ATGM fodder. And that's where the crews sit in the Vickers MBT Mk3. And in terms of the armour, well, it has nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not for the era at all. 80mm there, 60 on the upper plate. Every autocannon basically goes through the lower plate or through the upper plate. They all go through the side of this vehicle. It is exceptionally easy to pen with autocannons. You've only got 30mm of side armour as well. ATGMs destroy you. HESH, HE from most vehicles goes straight through you as well. The turret armour's absolute poo. This vehicle is genuinely terrible in terms of all that sort of stuff. And then in terms of the statistics, we do have a 61 km/h top speed, 25 km/h reverse speed, 720 horsepower engine, which is 18.6 horsepower per ton ratio, which means you do get there eventually. But yeah, when they say absolutely fantastic speed, well, a lot of vehicles in Era 2 have that kind of speed. 15% internal fire chance is in the middle of fire chances, and it gets set on fire all the time, so believe it. 50 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed means this tank does turn very quickly on its tracks, which is lovely. Ground resistances are great and don't affect the tank like pretty much every tank in Cold War. 575 meters of view range means this vehicle does spot for itself pretty well, which is good. 49.84 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed is slower than the tracks just that little bit, which is why I've run rapid aim and I haven't run clutch braking myself, because if you know me and you've watched my videos, I prefer it when my turret traverse is generally faster than my tracks. 0.48 accuracy during rotation is fantastic. With a 1.4 accuracy during movement, that is also great for a tank that's not running the gun stabilizer. It means the aim circle doesn't bloom out much at all, and you'll see that in the replays. You've got a 0.24 accuracy at 100 meters, which again is incredibly accurate. The gun hits most of the shots you'll ever want to take. 10 degrees of gun depression means that you are very, very flexible on a ridgeline, and realistically that's where this vehicle wants to be. It wants to be on ridgelines, which using the 10 degrees of gun depression only really exposing the turret, which means it's very difficult for vehicles to be able to see your tank and hit the weak hull and the weak ammo racks. 1.72 second aim time as well means that if the aim circle does bloom out a little bit in this tank, you aim the gun in super duper quickly anyway, which is lovely. And 5.19 second reload, so 5.19 second reload. We'll get there in the end. Brain likes to fart sometimes. Basically a 5.2 second reload, which is 5.3k DPM, which is pretty nice for Era 2. There's quite a few tanks that are hitting 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, but 5.3 is pretty damn usable and is definitely nice for the Vickers MBT3. 398 pen on the standard APFS DS is in the region of alright, not great, not bad, it's alright. You'll go through it with most vehicles you're going to face, but there's a lot of the heavily armoured stuff like the FE4211, for example, where you will need the 443 pen premium APFS DS. The 210 pen Hesh rounds for 570 alpha, though, is lovely. And like I say, Leopards, 30Bs, Bagel Panzers, Marders, BMPs, RDFLTs, all those kinds of light tanks, lightly armoured medium tanks, that good stuff. The pen is lovely. It will go through all of those, and you can up your DPM massively by firing 570 alpha. And like I say, you generally do more module damage with the HE as well. Even though it says here that it's the same HP on module damage, generally HE does more. So you're more likely to damage Armour X, kill crew, all that good stuff. You got 1490 meters a second shell velocity on the standard and premium APFS DS, which again, great velocity. Don't have to give too much lead distance to be able to hit your targets, like a lot of guns in Cold War. That velocity is lovely. And 735 meters a second shell velocity on the Hesh rounds, by the way, is a lot slower than the standard and premium. So bear in mind that you have to give a lot more lead at distance to be able to hit your targets with that Hesh, but also the fact that that Hesh will feel a lot derpier and this gun will feel a lot more inaccurate when you fire Hesh, which means a lot of the time you'll be firing that at closer range where you know you're going to pen a Leopard or a 30B or a light tank in that lightly armoured spot. And as it's a premium tank, it does have a 155% silver bonus, which is pretty nice, and it does, again, it does make very good silver. It is an Era 2 premium tank. They generally do make good silver. But generally, it's just a pure pain to play the Vickers MBT Mk3. It's really not great. But you can earn it for free, which will always take, and if you already, let's say, had the pain of buying this tank, you will be able to get 4.4 million silver, which is always nice to pick up. So what I'm going to do now is send you into the replays where you can watch the 2 replays, see how it handles, see if this tank is a bit of you or not, and yeah, you'll just generally see how the Vickers MBT Mk3 goes. So as always, everybody, I will see you in the replays. So, my general experience with the Vickers MBT Mk3, well, that was explosive, wasn't it? That's genuinely the Vickers. That happens so often. I just thought I'd include it. I was going to include a couple of other clips, but I thought that'd probably be a little bit overkill, to be honest, because there was 5 whole full health Ammarax in the build-up of trying to get replays for this video. 5 whole ones. It was great fun, I tell you. But we're with the Vickers MBT Mk3 in the game. Second replay, technically, although it's really the first proper replay. We're here on this map, which is Kasserine. And on Kasserine in the Vickers Mk3, what I want to do is go to F3, because I should be able to see people with true vision crossing the JK line. I can use the good gun handling that this vehicle has with the pretty decent DPM to try and farm quite a few shots into them as they cross. But as you can see, probably not the best thing to do, as our team has gone straight through the middle of the map or gone along the A line. But if we need to, we should probably try and run away. So you can see the gun handling. The gun handling is fantastic on this vehicle. With what we've got, the aim circle just basically never moves, which means you're always ready to fire the shots, which is what is very nice about the Vickers Mk3. Like I say, it's the one true strength of the vehicle is the gun. And it's the only real strength of the gun, in the fact that if you aim the shot, or should I say you look for the shots, generally the shots will hit in this vehicle. So we're just trying to get shots into some of the vehicles as they're crossing. We couldn't quite get the shots into what looked like a VADS. We did get a shot into the Bagel Panzer and this TR though, and we get another shot into the TR who drive out sideways on in front of us. There's an XM800T in front, which we've got to be careful of, because like I say, if that guy YOLOs us, he can pen us all over the tank with absolute ease, and he'll knock out 3/4 of our hit points. We go for the shot there into the VADS, but what actually happened there was me pulling back a little bit too soon in firing the shot, so the gun actually jumped up, which is why we missed that shot. So we see the Bagel Panzer coming up behind us. I decided to switch with the ammo swapper to HE, or to the Hesh rounds, so that I can pen them straight into the Bagel, and I can see him moving through the buildings. What I want to try and do is get the ram in. If I can, fire the HE. We get that in for 558, ram him for a lot of his hit points, leaving him down to a one-shot for us with the Hesh, and we finish him off. Because if we fired the APF SDS there, we wouldn't have killed that dude in one shot. We needed the Hesh rounds to finish him off, because we only have 460 alpha on the standard rounds, whereas the HE has 570. So with the Bagel Panzer now gone, we're going to go see if we can find some shots into the XM800T, or anyone else really. And we see the Rickety Panzer in the distance, and at this point I'm not too concerned, because I've got 2 light tanks with me. We've got a Rickety Panzer, they've got 2 light tanks as well. So try and get the Hesh round RBRT into the Rickety Panzer. Bad mistake really, should have fired it and aimed it properly. We put one in, doesn't pen the Rickety Panzer in the back for 262 either. Our other light tank has run away, and at this point I'm going, oh no. I'm now alone against the VADs in the XM800T. I can't run away, because the XM800T will YOLO round and get us anyway. And the VADs, if I give him my side and rear, can actually pen me really easily in the side and the rear, which means all of my hit points would vanish. And at this point, I know I'm dead. As the XM800T goes round, we're trying to fire Hesh through the lower plate of the VADs. I'm trying my best to cover my butt, but it doesn't matter, because even if I get my butt covered and give him my side, the XM800T will kill me, and that's the, again, there's another general experience in the Vickers, really. We finished with 1 kill, the 3rd class, the Sniper Medal, with the 5.6k damage, 696 assistance. Not a bad game for a loss there for the Vickers, but yeah, that's genuinely the average experience of the vehicle. So we're on to the 3rd, in inverted commas, the 2nd proper replay of the video, the last replay, and we are here on this map, which is Heilbronn. And on Heilbronn, what I want to try and do is go to somewhere like F6, because I can try and shoot people as they cross the HJK line. Now, it can be a bit aggressive in Cold War, as people do like to full send, and in fact, full sendage. Hello, Mr. Ignis. We put a shot straight through the Ignis there in his side. Trying to look for another shot there into the Ignis, but he crosses. A Leopard now crosses, and that does track damage only? Really good? Thanks for that, RNG. We load Hesh, go for the shot into the upper plate, but we aimed that terribly, so we only did 196 damage. But now this is where the Hesh can come into its own, as we put a shot into his upper plate, properly aiming into the turret for 557. And as you can see, the Ignis comes in YOLOing, takes away quite a bit of our hit points. We RBRT the shot, which was a bad move, which means we missed. But that full sending Ignis ends up losing his whole tank. We ricochet with the RBRT off the Leopard 181. Thanks, RNG. That's really good of you. Face palm. Absolute face palm. But that's RNG. It giveth and it taketh. Don't know how we ricocheted on the Leopard, but sure. We've got Hesh loaded again. 601 into the BMP. Really poor aim, but thankfully it hit where we were aiming a second ago, because we're suffering a bit of lag, even though we've got a good ping. And we finish him off with another Hesh round there into that BMP. We're up to 2.8k damage with 179 assistance damage. And we're just trying to go over to see if we can get shots into either the T62 or that medium there. Clearing out whether there's something camping on that back ridge, because stuff with ATGMs like to sit back there, so, you know, you always double check to make sure you're not going to get smashed by an ATGM, because like you saw in the first bit, yeah, this tank gets his head blown off, so you don't want to get ATGM'd if you can. I mean, no one wants to ever get ATGM'd, but you don't want to get ATGM'd in this thing, trust me on that. No, sirree. So we got a shot or two into the Brenners, into the M60A3 as well. We're going to cross the open, try and get ourselves into a position where we can take a bit of cover if we need to. Looking for shots into the VADs, which we get in. Wait for the reload, which is where the pretty good DPM this vehicle has comes into play. And we finish off the VADs there through the smoke. The Gao 8 Black is looking for shots into our Ignis, so we're going to help him out if we can. But the Type 74 said, "Hi, shoot me!" And you know what, Mr. Type 74, if you want to be shot, Type 74... I'll happily help you out there. Yeah, we got the shot into his side. We also got a shot into the Gao 8 Black, which we were being very careful of. But once again, he is the type of tank that can actually pen us if we get unlucky through the upper plate as well, depending on the angle. But if we give him his, if we give the Gao 8 Black our side or rear, we will get deleted. He can full health delete us, which is, you've got to be very, very careful of that. So a bit of lag there again. We pulled the trigger on that guy's side and it went, nah, I'll fire now. And so we ended up bouncing off of the side of his turret. We went for that tracking shot this time, which we got. We got a bit of tracking assist there, and he gets finished off by the Magak Hydra. Just going to try and look for some shots into the light tank or into the Gao 8. So I'm just caught in a bit of indecision, really. I was thinking about going for the GAU 8 Black or going for the Bagel. Decided to go out for the GAU 8, and yeah, we're just too late in that regard. The Bagel Panzer is being chased by the T55A M2B. Once again, we load the Hesh rounds, go for that turret, back of it, 586, straight through. Again, it's where the Hesh is definitely a glorious thing for the Vickers, and it's an asset that you have to use, because once again, it's really one of the only strengths to go along with the gun is the fact that you have fantastic HE rounds. But then, to be honest, there's quite a few vehicles in the era that also have fantastic HE rounds that are very, very similar. I mean, the M60s, they have 250 pen, 590 alpha. The Leopards, 230 pen for 570, same as the one you've got here, pretty much. Or, actually, more pen, you know, that sort of thing. You've got the British tanks, which also have the same as what you have in this tank as well. Same, you know, with the Centurion Mark 9 that has the same gun, so the same Hesh. But you got the Conqueror Mark 2 or the Conqueror, which have 260 pen for the Hesh and 660 alpha. You know, Mobat has 300 pen with this HE for 730. Chieftain Hybrid 120 with 290 pen on its Hesh for 680. You get my point. Even the XM1 with 250 pen and 590 on its Hesh. This tank has fantastic Hesh rounds that you have to use, you have to get the best out of to be able to make the tank any sort of decent, is the way I'd put it. But it's not really a strength when so many other vehicles also have that too, you know? Or not a unique strength is what I'm trying to get to the point of. So we managed to get back to the cap, put Hesh into the BMP. That BMP starts looking for shots into us. We missed the shot on the move though with our Hesh round. He misses with his ATGM and then gets a shot in with the heat round. I put a shot into his upper plate. I don't realise that I've actually run out of HE. So I actually low roll there on the BMP1, or at least I would have killed him if I fired Hesh, but I didn't realise I hadn't run out of Hesh, and so that BMP ended up shutting us down. And that's what I mean with the Vickers. As soon as you get into a position where you become the focus of someone's attention, you just die like that, because you have no way of stopping it, pretty much, except for trying to kill them before they killed you. And we finished with the victory, 2 kills, 8.6k damage, 480 assistance, the first class, the high caliber, the Confederate, for 1545 base XP. Pretty good game there for the Vickers MBT Mk3, which, like I say, is genuinely not a very good tank whatsoever, but you can get it for free from a contract, which is something that's pretty decent for it in general. It's always nice to be able to earn premium tanks for free from stuff like contracts. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!